Overlooked, overlooked, overlooked Bible. Overlooked, what didn't you see? Overlooked, overlooked, overlooked Bible. Look a little closer to solve the mystery. To solve the mystery.
The question we'll address is, how did Deborah get to be a judge in Israel? The key verses are in the book of Judges. And the children of Israel cried out to the Lord because he had 900 iron chariots, and he oppressed the children of Israel mightily for 20 years. And Deborah was a woman prophetess, the wife of Lapidot, and she judged Israel in these times. And the rulers ceased in Israel. They ceased until I, Deborah, arose. I arose as a mother in Israel. In the biblical, in all the biblical Mishnaic and Talmudic times, that's better, no female rose to a position of authority over men, except for Deborah. This is going to take some explaining because things like that just didn't happen. You could tell me Deborah was exceptional, competent, a prophetess, a capable leader. Let's do better. Brilliant, chosen by God, a natural leader. And that explains nothing. There were other intelligent women in the Bible. There were other prophetesses in the Bible. None is in a position of authority over men. But Deborah is likely the judge, speaks in the name of God, tells Barak, the military leader, to come to her, and he does, commands Barak to go to war, and he does. There's no debate. She runs the show. How did this happen? It seems improbable. Is there anything in the text that has been overlooked? The text indicates the Israelites were oppressed by Sisera, the Canaanite general. It says, and the children of Israel cried out to the Lord because he had 900 iron chariots, and he oppressed the children of Israel mightily for 20 years. This is confusing. We've been told the Israelites had courts, judges, an army of 10,000 people. Does this sound like oppression? Signs of oppression would normally include conscription of men into the conqueror's army or servitude, seizing major commodities, heavy taxation, installing a military ruler or a local puppet, forbidding the practicing of alternative religions. Did the Canaanites do any of these? In Deborah's song, it says, the rulers ceased in Israel. They ceased until I, Deborah, arose. I arose as a mother in Israel. How did she become Israel's ruler during the oppression? Think about this. Could it be Deborah was appointed by the Canaanites? Okay, so what if she was? Let's take a closer look at the text. We might be able to answer our question. We know three things about Deborah from the text. Let's see if they're important. 1, she was a prophetess. 2, she was the wife of Lapidot. And 3, she was a judge. Points 1 and 3 are self-explanatory. But what about point number 2, that she's the wife of Lapidot? Who or what is Lapidot? Lapid means a torch. Lapidot is the plural. Rashi says this indicates Deborah made wicks for the Shiloh tabernacle candles. Therefore, she was the woman of the torches. Others say her husband was the one who delivered the wicks to the tabernacle. Another opinion is that Barak, meaning lightning, another reference to fire, was Lapidot. We know of no place names called Lapidot. But there is another key person who actually dealt with real torches, not wicks. This was the person who had the communal responsibility for lighting the new moon torch that would be seen by neighboring communities. What if that was Deborah's husband, Lapidot? That would be someone everyone knew, trusted, and respected, but wouldn't have to be someone cunning, shrewd, or smart, exactly the kind of person the Canaanites might appoint as their puppet governor. For the text to call him torches means there was a biblical cover-up. Everyone alive then would know torches and his real name. But because he was appointed to an unenviable position as the puppet governor, his real name isn't used. If we accept the Canaanites appointed torches as their puppet governor, where does that leave us with Deborah? Well, if they really wanted to oppress Israel, what might they do? Exactly. Appoint a run-of-the-mill mother in Israel as judge, an illiterate, uneducated housewife of a blue-collar worker. That would be the ultimate insult to the Israelites. But who gets the final laugh? God communicates with Deborah, making her a prophetess. The illiterate, uneducated housewife has innate talent and wisdom for being a judge, and Deborah becomes a true leader. But that's not all. It wouldn't be the Bible without some delicious irony. Deborah accurately predicts that Sisera will be killed by another female nonentity, Yael the Canaanite. The Canaanites tried to humiliate the Israelites by exploiting their women, but this backfired. In Hebrew, midah keneged midah, in English, poetic justice. If you're skeptical about this theory, what's the alternative? That she went to law school at Hebrew U? There's no chance Deborah was literate. If you want to say she was empowered by God, then ask yourself how that worked. Is the following scenario plausible? Deborah approached the elders and said, God spoke to me and told me to tell you I'm leading the people now. For the case of the great Moses, God gives him the snake trick, the leprosy trick, tells him his name, and then has him turn water into blood. Without convincing signs, Deborah would have been sent home, and we are told of none. She needed a backstop, and the only conceivable backstop was the Canaanite army. They installed her. Despite the revulsion at having a woman leading them, no Israelite would have uttered a peep. Our original question, how did Deborah get to be a judge in Israel? She was appointed by the Canaanite oppressors in order to humiliate the Israelites. They believed she would be hapless and ineffective. Focusing on the Peshat, the literal, told us she was simply a mother who was married to the man who lit the torches. This helped us arrive at our answer. What's overlooked in this story is that the author of the book of Judges wants to show that God sees what the enemies of Israel do to humiliate them and then uses that against them. It's only through an understanding of why Deborah was selected as a judge that one can understand how God worked to flip a story of oppression into one of heroism. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.